The Stanley Cup playoffs, the most coveted trophy in all of sports. And the playoffs start right now. What's going on, guys? Jay Hoyd back with you today. Welcome back to another NHL video. This time we are here at the start of the Stanley Cup playoffs, and we are here to fill out our bracket for the Stanley Cup the Stanley Cup playoffs, and we are going to pick a winner in this video. So we are here on ESPN. They sent out an email, which something I don't really check a lot, but who will lift the Stanley Cup? Let's create a bracket here and figure this one out. So, of course, we are gonna pick the winner. That's for sure. All right, so let's see. Let's get all this on our screen now. So it actually starts, is it tonight or is it tomorrow night? I think it's tomorrow night when the first game starts. I'm recording this on Friday the 19th, before all the games start. I haven't seen anything going on. So, of course, Vegas finally made it in the last little bit here, but we're going to start over in the Eastern Conference. So, we have some bangers of matchups in these playoffs, right? You can't deny that. We got the Battle of Florida in the first round. We have the always favorite, amazing rivalry in the Bruins and Maple Leafs. The Rangers and Capitals usually always provide a really good series. And the Hurricanes and Islanders have pretty much always had a pretty good, playoff series. Stars and Golden Knights, that was a rematch from, last year's... What round did they even play them in last year? But they faced off last year. You have the Winnipeg Jets and the Colorado Avalanche. That should be a really good series. You have the Canucks and the Predators, and then the Oilers and the Kings. So, we have a pretty good rounded matchup in this one. But, of course, let's go over here and start with the Battle of Florida. So, taking a look at it, the Florida Panthers finished with a record of 52-24-6. I think that means they are the favorite. So, of course, we already know who the Tampa Bay Lightning have with Kucherov, with Point, with Stamkos. We know, right? We've known who's on this team, and we pretty much know, what these teams are all about. Last five, though, Lightning have lost some, I'll say, relatively close games, whereas the Florida Panthers have won the last 4 straight in, I'll say, pretty convincing fashion. There's an overtime win in there and, of course, a 5-2. But other than that, they've been really solid. So this one's going to be good, right? So finishing off in Tampa Bay, obviously did really well, almost 100 points for them. Florida's up there as well. But if we're going to pick a winner, we're not at that point anymore where the Tampa Bay Lightning are not the number one team in the East, right? There is a lot of really good teams in the Eastern Conference this year. Rangers with the President's Trophy. Obviously they're going to be a force to reckon with. But as far as these guys go, who do we even want to go with in this one? I don't know of any big injuries or anything. Ooh, this is so tough. Who won it last year? Was it Florida? I think. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Florida again. Now, as far as game count, we'll go with 4-2. Right? Remember, it's best of 7s here. I feel like that would be a pretty solid matchup. So the preview is not what I thought, so I'm not going to keep clicking on those. But the next round, the Bruins versus the Maple Leafs. Oh, boy. This one, the Maple Leafs have kind of broken a little bit of a curse of, not winning in the first round, right? They did, last year, the year before? They got to the second round. Now, they did end up losing, but they got to the second round. So that was a big step for them. As far as who's going to win that one, that's, again, just such a banger of a series. But I'm feeling Bruins in this one. That even can go down to the wire, Game 7. Honestly, that's just one of those series that could be super close. Austin Matthews, is just he's just on a level right now with Toronto. The Metro. All right, so we have the Rangers and Capitals. Capitals just barely squeaked in to the playoffs, right? They went down to the wire trying to figure out, who was on this team and figure out how to get into the playoffs. But I feel like the Rangers right now, though, like they won the President's Trophy, and for a team that was really fighting for their life the last little bit, I just feel like that's not how you win in the playoffs. And of course, like there's so many good players on the Capitals too that they are kind of in a really weird state of, they're gonna have to rebuild soon, but not until after like John Carlson and Ovechkin are gone. And I don't know what to say about them, but I just feel like the Rangers are just better. Next, you have the Hurricanes and the Islanders. And I don't know what it is, but I never have faith in the Islanders. I don't know what it is, but when I see teams that can compete regardless of who's on the Islanders, I never predict them like ever. So I don't think that's going to change now. I think I'm going to go with the Hurricanes now with Jake Getzel too. I mean, that team was already scary, and now you add in another top line, scoring threat. So we're going to pick the Rangers and the Hurricanes to move on to the second round in that one. So let's go one more round. We'll get down to the conference finals in this one, and then we'll jump over to the West. So the Panthers and Bruins. Now, this is where it gets so tough. The Panthers have been really solid. The Bruins are always really solid, but they're built for the playoffs. Man, as much as I don't want to pick Brad Marchand and the Bruins, do we go the Panthers here? Let's go with the Panthers. Not super confident with them, but gotta pick somebody, right? Next matchup, though, Rangers and Hurricanes. Again, just such a banger of a series. Gut feeling saying Rangers, right? Obviously, they won the President's Trophy. They're a good team. They got some of the young talent finally performing. Hurricanes are always dangerous with how many good young players they have, too. This should be a banger of a series between these two. But we're going to go with the Rangers, right? The Rangers have been, pretty dominant, right? They can't deny that. So, Panthers and Rangers, conference finals, Eastern Conference. Let's jump over to the West. Right? We'll start at the bottom, work our way up. Vegas will be last. Oilers versus Kings. Kings, who do they even have anymore? I feel like that team is just so strange that it's changed so much since the old days. So, but at the same time, I can't just say the Oilers have McDavid, they have Draisaitl, they have Nugent Hopkins. I can't just say they have them and, they just win. This is not how that works. So, they got to do something in that series, right? Oilers, right? You're good, but can you be great and actually win games? I'm not sure. Next matchup, though, Canucks versus Predators. I feel like the Canucks have been on a different level this year, right? They've been so good. And they were very, I've watched them play Vegas, and obviously Vegas is a good team. Vancouver's a good team. And Vancouver, the way they move the puck sometimes, I'm like, holy cow. So we're going to pick Vancouver in this one. They'll face off against the Oilers. Jets versus Avalanche. It's always so hard to bet against the Avalanche, too. That's just one of those teams. There's so many good teams now. Versus the Jets. Again, such a good series. So many good players in this one. But I feel like the Avalanche, right? They're just, they just got a gut feeling towards them, right? The next team, though, the Stars and the Golden Knights. Are we really questioning this? Of course I'm going to pick the Golden Knights, right? They're behind me, right? They want another one of those. And now they struggled to kind of get in, right? They won at the last second. But now they should, and I would assume should, have all of their pieces back with Stone, with Stevenson. Hanifin will be back in the lineup. Pietrangelo, Carrier. Who's the other person I'm thinking of that was out of the lineup? But they're going to have all their pieces back in place. And they have Tomas Hertl on top of all that. This is going to get scary. Assuming they get back and everyone's healthy and everyone's ready to play and everyone's kind of gelling back again. that's got to be a scary team. I know the Stars that did very well this year, but I mean, come on. It's hard to bet against them too. I mean, I know they're the 4th seed, coming from the wild card, or actually, I don't think they got the. Did they get the wild card? No, LA got the Pacific 3rd place, so they got the wild card spot. But I just feel with the re-energized, back healthy Knights team, I just feel like that team's gonna win. But all right, we got to pick a couple winners here to get to the conference finals. I mean, that should be a very good matchup, and they did it. We got to go with the Knights, right? We got to go with them. They're just so scary right now to deal with. The Canucks, though, versus the Oilers. Again, got to go with the Canucks. They're playing so well. Right, that team is pretty insane, right, from top to bottom. Obviously, Quinn Hughes leading the way now on defense. That's a scary team. We're down to 4, right? The Canucks, the Golden Knights, the Panthers, and the Rangers. This is so tough, right? I mean, obviously, fan bias here is saying Golden Knights. Canucks are a crazy team. I mean, I gotta go with them, right? I just gotta, right? I mean, I'm gonna pick Vegas. Like, it's hard not to. And of course, they're gonna face off. I mean, do we go the rematch versus the Panthers? Do we go, best in the league with the Rangers? I mean, that's such a hard matchup. It is. But I'm gonna do it. Golden Knights versus Rangers. Chris, where are you at? My brother, where are you at? This would be a good rivalry. If it not a rivalry, but like this would be a good matchup. Assuming it does go down to this, that'd be a really cool matchup for Chris and I. That's for sure. But Golden Knights versus Rangers. I mean, obviously, who knows if our bracket's gonna be right here. But of course, we're gonna go with them back to back. Tiebreaker, how many total goals will be scored by the champions in the 24 playoffs? So the champions, so that's just the team that wins. Let's just say if you have to win a game 4-2 or 4-1 or 3-1, right? That's 3 goals, 4 games. I mean, that's 12. Assuming it goes like game 5 or 6, I mean, that could be like 15 to 18. We'll go with like, I don't know, what's a good number there? We're going to go with 16 as our final number. And of course, we'll submit the bracket afterwards. But that's going to be our picks for the Stanley Cup playoffs. What are your guys' picks? This is not sponsored, but I would love to see your guys' bracket as well. It starts tonight. As we're watching this, it's going to go up, before the games start. So I don't know who wins. I don't know anything of what's going on. And it looks like we're going to be starting out with the Hurricanes and Islanders as the first series that starts, followed by the Bruins and the Maple Leafs as well. And I don't think anybody else starts on the 20th. So it should be a good matchup. Should be really fun to watch. Lots of good teams. Lots of good players in this one. And of course, Vegas looking to repeat. But that's going to do it for today's video. If you did enjoy, make sure to hit the like button down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, guys, we'll see you in the next